Okay, we are live.
Hi,
And
everyone.
hi, everyone. I'm just going to do my classic making sure it looks, and it is. It's live on YouTube and live on Twitch. So, welcome everyone to the weekly GROQ stream that Lauren and I have been having 5 weeks now. This is episode
Yes.
5.
Wow.
That's fun. Um, so, yeah, let's kind of do our classic, go through our icebreaker because we want to get to know each other better. And then we'll recap what we did last week and then tell you what we're going to do this week. So, our icebreaker question and chat, anybody can answer this. But do you prefer sweet or savory? Lauren, you go first.
I would say, I think savory. I'm not really a big sweets person. I definitely enjoy like a good pickle more times than not. If the option is like something sweet or savory, I usually choose the savory option and savory versions of dishes that could go either way for sure. What about you?
I agree. I choose savory usually. Like, my favorite snack is popcorn, or and I do like pickles. But do you like the whole pickle or like the pickled chips or like the mini
Oh,
pickles or all of them?
I will take a pickle any way it is
Oh,
offered to
Brian,
me.
Brian just asked, what kind of pickle?
Oh, I'm a kosher dill all the way. Uh, I don't like the sweet pickles. That's will make me make a yuck face. But shout out to anyone who loves them.
Hmm.
I support you. Um, but I love a kosher dill. I also like. Have you ever had a half turn pickle where it still retains like some of the flavor of the cucumber, but it is still pickled slightly? It's like a half pickle.
Oh, I think I've had one of those.
They're my favorite. They're so good. But I just like pickled things. I will basically eat any kind of pickled vegetable. Like I
Yeah,
like pickled carrots, uh pick up like, radishes, pickled
yeah,
daikon. I love it. I love it all.
yeah. So we're definitely team savory. If anyone's under like wondering, um, is anyone team sweets in the chat? Hi, Solid Burn 313. Hi, Olususi. Hi, Brian. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Um, love sweet
Ranch
pickles.
ranch powder in a jar of pickles and let it sit? Huh.
I haven't tried that.
I have not. I wonder what. I mean, I assume there's liquid too, yeah? Like not just you put the
Well, in a jar of pickles, so I'm assuming you keep like the pickle juice and then you put the ranch
ranch. Oh, you
powder,
just
yeah, right into
yeah.
the pickle juice and all the pickles. I bet you that's good. Like,
It probably is.
I'm not mad about it. I might try
No,
it. More
me
starters of
neither.
the true dessert. That's cool. Okay, sweet. So
Yeah.
everyone, a lot of people are fans of pickles in the chat.
Maybe we
All
should
right.
do that and then next week we can try them on the stream.
Yeah. Um, cool. So we are going to do a quick recap on what we did last week, and we have a blog post for you all. Let me share my screen. Here is our latest. Oh, see
So,
ya. Good to see you. But
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So last week we talked about the pipeline operator slash component, which is the same thing, but I prefer to think of them as, the pipeline operator being just the pipe. And then when it comes fully formed with an actual like expression in it, then it's a component, but they're one and the same. But basically, you use the pipe to get the information from the left side of the array and pass it over to the right side. So basically, the pipe, all of the information that comes out of the left side of the array sticks to the pipe, and then the pipe sends it on. Um, it thanks it, of course, for its hardware,
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
it does whatever is on the right side. So that could be Maybe you want to use some kind of function with that. Maybe you want to grab the data from the left side, and then you want to count it, or you want to know the length of it, or something like that. That's what you would use the pipe for. It was pretty fun. We used a new data set also. We are now using the e-commerce data set, which has a bunch of fun candy in it.
Yeah. The wasabi Kit Kat is our favorite. Have you actually tried one? I've actually tried one and they're good.
I haven't. I really want one. I've only had like the green matcha ones, which were delish.
Yeah, so if you want to watch what we did last week, you can get the video here, or there's a link at the bottom. And here's just like a quick like summary of what we did. And yeah, but this week we are going to be talking about, and I hope I'm saying it right, the ellipsis operator. What would be plural of ellipsis? Ellipsi?
Is it ellipsi?
Ellipsi. Ellipses.
I
don't
don't see
know.
ellipses. It doesn't sound right.
Okay,
Ellipsi doesn't really sound right either.
we're going to be using many ellipsi in this stream.
Oh.
Brian says ellipsis. Ellipsis. I like ellipsi. From ellipses. Okay. Ellipses. So we're going to be using multiple ellipses today. And Lauren, would you like to explain what the ellipsis operator does?
Yes. So the ellipsis operator is, of course, it's the 3 dots. It's the same that you would maybe find in grammatical notation. But the ellipsis basically, it allows you, let's say that you, within your projection, you wanted to do some kind of computation. Maybe you wanted to count a field or something. Once you put that in the projection, all that's going to return is that count or whatever you put in the expression. So the ellipsis will allow you to declare that function. I want to count this. In this particular case, you see here, we're counting actors. But then once you put the ellipsis in, it will also return all of the other fields available within the scope of type movie.
Yeah. So not only do we get actor count, because if we didn't have the ellipsis right here, we would just get this number. But we want the rest of it. So that's why we put the ellipsis in. And we're going to show 2 levels of where we can put it. Thanks, Brian, for that link. We're going to show 2 levels of it. But let's go back to the data set that we were in last time, the Kit Kat Wasabi one.
Yes, candies.
So in here, let me just zoom out just a little bit so you can kind of, or zoom out so you can kind of see. So there's desk and there's vision, just to kind of like recap the studio. Vision is this studio's like GROQ playground. So we will be writing all of our queries here, and then desk has our studio, and this is where we can edit and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go to vision and I'll zoom back in, and that will just now be found in this hamburger menu. All right, so first thing I want to show you all is, if I wanted to find all types that are equal to product. So I'm going to run so I'm going to get everything that is a product. There's 11 items in here, okay? Now, if I wanted to pull out, let's say just ID and I think title, or was it name? Title. So ID and title, that's all I get back. And remember, if you remember in like past streams, if you've watched, in order to view everything again, we've always deleted all of that, because notice we can only see ID and title, and we would run that query again. And then we'd be like, oh, okay, we have categories, we have default product variant. But yeah, that's how in the past we would find everything. So if I wanted to find everything plus ID, which ID is in everything, but just kind of follow, I'm just going to kind of show this. So ID and title and then ellipses. Then I run this, everything still is returned. If I get rid of this, it's just the 2 that I wanted. If I return it, same thing. It goes back to everything. So that is just getting everything that is within the scope of this projection. So some useful use cases for this would be like what we saw in this, where we renamed something and we got like a number of it, and we still wanted all of the other content. So in our case, what we're going to do today is we're going to pull out certain things, and then we are going to tack on another projection. And I don't want to overwhelm everyone just yet, so let's just write our first projection. So remember, this is our filter, and this is our projection. So everything that we write in the projection is what is going to be displayed. It's what's going to be returned, kind of. So yeah.
Doing it.
So I'm going to delete this, and let's start. So I'm going to pull out, let's pull out, we wanted, let's do default product variant, and let's get our images, let's get our asset, and then let's dereference that because we want our stuff in there. So default product variant. I always want to do ENT for some reason, so I have to like variant.
Variant. It makes it sound less robotic.
Variant. It sounds
yes.
It sounds so proper. Default product variant.
Variant.
Yeah. Like and then in here, images, and images is an array, as we can see, is an array of stuff. So we're going to open that up, and then we're going to pull out the asset, and we are going to dereference that. So this is the dereferencing operator, and get more of our asset data. If I didn't,
look at all that.
Yeah, there's a lot. If I didn't do this dereferencing operator, it would just be the key and the reference. Right? Those were the 2.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because it's the reference is the foreign key here, but really the ID within the image.
Yeah. Let me just
realm. Yeah.
I guess I can just pull it up. Yeah. Ref and type.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we would get back. But once we dereference it, we're going to get what that reference is and pull out all that good stuff that we wanted. Now in here, we wanted metadata and the dimensions and the palette. So rather than pulling out all of these asset things, we just want this metadata. So to do that, we are going to open this up and do metadata. And we should have just our dimensions in our palette. Perfect.
Nice and clean.
Yeah. So let me, or Lauren, do you want to explain the palette, or do you want me to? Because this is a really fun fact about images in the studio metadata.
I can try to explain it. I just found out about it. Actually, like maybe 20 minutes ago. I didn't know that this existed, but it's really cool. So basically the palette takes account for the main colors within your image, and it suggests like good contrasting foreground and background colors to use with it. So it's like a web accessibility aid, which is super cool. That's right? Yes.
Yeah. So if we had, so our dominant color for this image, a good foreground color is this #FFF. A good foreground color for our light muted is the 3 zeros. So yeah, like you said, Lauren, it helps with like accessibility. So you don't have to like figure out what would be a good, like if you had text overlay, or what else would be something you could put over? Like another like an icon, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
or like if you did like even though you like not just text, but maybe you had like more of like a call out style, so you had like a background square or circle with text in it. It would let you know like which like solid color you could use and then the text.
yeah. So that is like a fun side thing about palette. And I want to collapse those. And then dimensions are in here, aspect ratio, and then the height and the width. So we want to keep all this. And yeah, so I want to rename my metadata, my dimensions, and my palette that I'm pulling out. And I'm just going to do image metadata and pull that out and rename it. So yeah, still within product, default product variant, we have the image metadata, which just a moment ago wasn't named that, it was just named image. So we renamed that path. All right, so we'll do another one. Let me make sure I'm in the right curly. Right
I know. We're
here.
really
No, we're stacked on curlies.
we're really doing it.
Yeah. So let's do another rename. We'll do number of categories. And we'll do count categories. Now let's explain count because we also have not talked about count in GROQ.
Yes.
So count in GROQ is counting everything that you're going to find in whatever you're looking at. So let's do this. Let's take out count and show you. So the 1, 2, 2. So number of categories, 1. There's 2. There's 2. So rather than listing as well what the what's in the category, we want just the count of it. We want just this number, this 2 items. Is this big enough? Yeah. Just these 2 items, return that number 2. And that's why by putting count in front, it pulls out just that number. So 1, 2, 2, and they're all, oh, there's some 3s. There's 1 3. Oh no, 2 3s. Okay. Yeah. So that is so far what we have. So to just kind of go over what we're doing here, we're filtering all of our products, pulling out the default product variant and the image metadata. And renaming it to image metadata, and then renaming number of categories, and we use count around categories, and that returns just the number of how many are in categories. Awesome. So with all that being said, we are still only returning the things that we've stated in the projection. But let's say we still want everything. So we would just put a ellipsis, comma, like it's a projection, like it's a thing, and run that query. And now we get all of our content.
Yay.
And we still get the number of categories, 1. We still get the image metadata being renamed. So we still get all the things that we've done, but we also get everything else. So this is really helpful for like you're renaming stuff, but you want to reuse it again, or you're renaming something and you want to do another projection, which we'll show in a second, but we still want to pull out like an ID. So if I were to take out this ellipsis and run this again, I'm only getting the image metadata and the number of categories. To run another projection, I'm going to take all of the content in this top one and put another projection on it and use that. So I could pull out number.
Oh, like Lord. We're getting like Christopher Nolan, like we're Inception. We're just like,
yeah. I gotta fix this. Oh, I don't like that that's lowercase. So I'm able to pull out a number of categories because I had it up here, but I could not pull out title.
Yes.
Because it wasn't used up here. So how would I pull it? How would I be able to use title down here? Lauren.
I think you need the ellipsis back to bring down all of the content or fields that so that you can use it later on.
Yeah, so by adding that ellipsis back in, now we have access to that title, and now we get it.
Yay!
Yay! So
yeah, which makes a lot of sense because it's very rare that you would, most of the time when you do something custom or you make an alias for a thing or you're doing some kind of computation function, you're not just going to project that computation. You're going to want other things. So let's say, you're counting categories, but you're probably also going to want maybe the product name or the title at the same time. You're not just going to want to do the counting function or the length function or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember, this is based on the scope of the projection that is in. So it's in this one. So everything that would have shown up in here, this will show. Or I guess I need to go all the way down here, that whole thing. So that makes it so we can pull out the title. Yeah, so the next thing we want to show, and this is this is putting the ellipsis at a different level. So within default product variant, we have a lot of other things that we could have pulled out. One of those being price. And price, we worked with a lot last stream. But if I wanted to pull out price, I could do this, and that'd be fine, and I could use it down here. But what if there were like 6 different things that we wanted to use out of default product variant? And we didn't want to write them all here, but we wanted to just write them down in one spot. So if I will do number of categories, title, default product variant, open that up, and we'll do image, metadata, and price. Yeah. Price is null.
Oh, no.
No, not null price.
Sad face.
Sad face. So in order to get the price out, we are going to put an ellipsis at a different level. So not the full one, because you'd think you'd be able to pull out price because this is here.
Yeah.
So let's go into here and add an ellipsis there. And now we have our price.
Yes. $20 candy bars. Yeah, I think
worth every penny.
The scope aspect is a tricky thing, and you can easily forget it. But I think, I don't know, that was a big stumbling block for me. I think was realizing like that this ellipsis was definitely in scope. So I thought if you just used it one time, it would just give you everything you need, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and while we were kind of like messing around with this, we realized that we're like, if we want price, because we tried to pull it out and then it didn't work, because the initial thought is this is going to work. This is going to pull out everything. But by looking at the scope, we did that and it worked, and it looks good. So yeah, and then we can just keep on adding to projections. Like maybe we want to change the name title to candy bar. I don't know. And then just return candy bar and I don't know, number. I'll just do, yeah. So you can just keep tacking on projections, and the final one is what you would see down here. So depending on what you do, maybe you need another ellipsis somewhere else, but yeah, that is tacking on projections in GROQ as well.
Yes.
Questions. Love how Brian got a lot in there. We have links. Thank you, Brian. Now realizing I never added that video. Nice. This is dope. Yeah, cool. We also think it's dope. When we were like playing around with it and like figuring it out, ellipses makes it very convenient when you don't want to keep deleting everything in your projection to like see everything again. You can just like pull it all and then be like filtering it down more and more. But it also helps in this like extra projection thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like how, like, you know, in the terminal sometimes I just like constantly LS. Like, I just have to know. I'm like, what's this? What's here? What's this? Like, it's kind of like that if you're just trying to get your, you know, if you're in the Vision plugin and trying to get your query, you know, right. You're just like, oh, okay, let me see where I am now. Where am I? I don't know. Am I the only one that does that? Do you like LS constantly?
Oh, I LS everything. If I don't LS, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But no, it's true because it's like you have like a bird's eye view of everything, but you can still like be pulling out certain pieces and like renaming certain pieces and doing count on some, but while seeing everything and like being able to run it and be like, okay, that one worked. But then you don't have to delete it all and then start again to see everything. But yeah. Yeah. So that is Ellipsis. There is talk about GROQ.dev. If you are interested, another playground for GROQ is GROQ.dev. There's just a lot of data in here and you can run different queries. And once you hit play, it will show you. Like complete is true.
If you have your own JSON data, you can link to it or you can just paste it in there and query your own data.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there's also like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I like, do you ever call the GROQ arcade the GROQade? Because I started calling it that.
No, but you said that to me the other day and I'm like, GROQade, I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the GROQ arcade is now GROQcade, if anyone's wondering. But yeah. Oh, and then here's a little Easter egg that I really like about GROQ arcade is up here. If you click on the tail of the Q, it becomes a snake game.
The crocodile.
Did you know this, Lauren?
I did, but I forgot about it. And did it, even though I was in the GROQcade all last week and beginning of this week, did not play it once. I'm not feeling good about my life.
I got a pretty high score one time, but yeah, here is crocodile. Oh, and it loops. I didn't know it looped. That changes everything about this game. Now I don't have to worry about that. I wonder if this breaks you. No, just you breaks you. No, you don't. I don't think you can die.
Power gamer.
So that's a hidden Easter egg in GROQ.dev. But yeah, ellipses, ellipsis, ellipsi in GROQ, and multiple projections in GROQ. And combining the two can really like fine tune exactly what you want to pull out of your content. So it's a good combo. Yeah, that is all we had for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for all the questions and the chatter in chat. And we will see you again next week, of course.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Bye.